The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitor center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. Thanks for joining us today. And if you are watching this live, right here, you can give us a call if you have a question, a comment, you want to share something with us. Give us a call at 753-5225. If you're new to Chautauqua County or you're just visiting over at the institution or along the lakes or enjoying anything that's going on here in the county, check us out. Stick around for the next hour or so. We got a great topic coming up. And as always, and my guests are getting makeup in the green room right now, so they'll be on shortly. Okay, but anyways, we want to welcome you to the show because we try to bring things that I think and you think, because people do give me suggestions for topics here that are of interest and what's going on in Chautauqua County, what's good about Chautauqua County. So that's what we're going to be talking about. One more thing that you're going to find that's, I think, is really fascinating today that's going on here in the county in our region. Okay, I want to say a few hellos to people. First of all, I want to say good evening to our friends down in Australia, because you're going to be watching the show. I know you are. Not necessarily live, because I don't think our cable TV reaches that far. We don't even get outside of the county. But anyways, they're going to be watching this show later on. So good evening, and you're going to be hearing a little bit about yourselves here in a little bit. And then I want to say good afternoon to our friends and listeners at WRFA 107.9, Low Power to the People over in Jamestown. They'll be listening to us Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. And so I know that you listen to us every week, and I'm so happy that we have that opportunity to bring you programming here from Mayville, New York at Access 5. Okay, don't want to spend a lot of time on too much stuff other than I want to remind you that Monday is the solar eclipse. Did you happen to know that? They're only talking about it every 7 minutes on the radio and television and in the newspaper. But if you didn't catch it, the Post-Journal had a really good piece on it. It shows the various phases of the eclipse. I think it was in Thursday's paper, maybe. It's a full-page thing. Cut it out. Take a look at it. It's well worth hanging on to. And what they tell you about looking at the sun, it's true. Don't do it. Don't look through binoculars. Don't look through your camera. Don't look through your cell phone. Don't look at the sun unless you got protective eye glasses and things like that, lenses. Okay, whatever they're telling you is really true. It'll burn your eyes out. Okay, don't do that. All right, let's see. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that are going on around the county and things for you to mark your calendar. So let's get started. Let's go down to Jamestown. Okay, this is coming up not too far down the road, but mark your calendars for this one, September 9th. The Infinity's 14th Annual Local Music Showcase. Look at that cool poster. All right. This is the opportunity where bands get together to raise funds for Infinity. And if you don't know what Infinity is, it's an awesome program from young folks to learn about music, arts, theater, dance, and so on. Okay, and bands donate their time. They always donate about an hour, and it's kind of a rotation where one band comes on, and then when they're done comes off. They switch gear, and then the next band comes on. So it's almost like the old fundraisers that we used to do back in the 70s. And so on. But this is going to be held at these venues, okay? At Brazil's, Fortes, the Infinity Arts Cafe, at the Jamestown Skate Products, the Labyrinth, Mojo's, Shawbucks, the Pub, the Q, and the Wine Cellar. And Will Russell and I will be performing at the Wine Cellar at, let's see, what time am I playing it? Let's see here, at 8:15 that night. So there's a lot of us playing, and I think there's almost 50 bands. And if you're interested in being an engineer, sound engineer, or volunteer, give them a call over there at the Infinity Performing Arts at 664-0991. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get closer. Okay, let's see. The Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation is accepting letters of interest from local nonprofits for this fall community benefit grants program until September 1 at 4 p.m. Now, I'm telling you this because there are funds available to a lot of organizations in there. Money is tight. I don't care what group you're with. A lot of times you just need a little extra money to get a project going or bring it to total fruition and so forth. And the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation can help you. They're out of Dunkirk. Thing you got to keep in mind, applicants must be IRS designated 501c3 nonprofit organization, okay? So you got to be legit, you got to be not a nonprofit, and get their application, fill it out. This program awards grants on a biannual basis for projects that address Northern Chautauqua's current needs and opportunities. This past spring, 19 grants were awarded. Okay, totaling $70,000. So there's some serious money available, and they're a great organization. I've done work with them over the years, so check them out. Okay, it is like 9:08 right now, and I got to tell you that as we speak, the Westfield Mayville Rotary Club Miniature Golf Tournament is starting. All right. Now, I don't do this very often, but I'm gonna let you to know, do this. All right, do this. Get your stuff on, shut off the TV, and go to Webb's and play golf. You can watch me later, all right? Because we are rebroadcast throughout the week at 2 and 8 here at 5. But it's a great fundraiser. We're trying to wipe out polio in the world, and this is my home club. And Team Hamels will be showing up right after this show. My family, I got very serious. We have uniforms, from what I've been told. They're bringing. They even might bring it here to the studio. I don't know. I told them to bring it. Anyway, so we're gonna have some fun today. It's $12.50 a person. You can do a duo, a trio, a foursome, whatever. And it's a lot of fun. That they tell me they got prizes and they're gonna have some competitions and so forth. It's gonna be right down the road at Webb's at their miniature golf course right there on 394. So.
Team Smith is going to be there.
Team Smith's going to be there. Oh, more competition. All right, so that's last time I'm going to announce that. So anyways, miniature golf tournament today, starting right now. Get down there. It'll be going till about 11:30, 12 o'clock, okay? All right, let's go on to next. We're going to go to Dunkirk. Spaghetti dinner for medical expenses of Lori Faso. It'll be held tomorrow, Sunday, August 20th, from 11:30 to 5 p.m. at the Dunkirk Moose Club. Over there, Lakeshore Drive West in Dunkirk. Includes spaghetti, 2 meatballs, salad, roll, and ice cream. Features live auction at 1 p.m., Chinese auction baskets, music, and 50-50 raffle. Cost is only $10. So if you want a great Italian meal and support a good cause, check it out at the Dunkirk Moose Club tomorrow between 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, we are moving on to page 3. And I did this last week. I was on the wrong page and I had the slides all out of order. Okay, October, number 8, 10th annual Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest. There we go, I'll get it. Thank you, Jeff. Oktoberfest. Anyways, August 22nd, that would be, what is that? Tuesday? Yep. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Proceeds benefit St. Susan Center in Jamestown. Filling each bowl with love, featuring live music by Brian Hanna, Bill Ward, Amanda Barton, Randy Graham, and Rebecca McElvain. Admission's free, okay? Southern Tier Brewing Company. It's going to be a Southern Tier Brewing Company at 2072 Stoneman Circle, Jamestown, New York. I know many of these musicians. They're great. They're awesome. The event itself for St. Susan is always a lot of fun, well organized. So check it out this coming Tuesday, August 22nd, from 5 p.m. to 9 at the Southern Tier Brewing Company. Okay, let's go on next to Community Forum on Poverty. We got a slide on that, I believe. There we go. Community Forum on Poverty is going to be held August 23rd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Clarion Conference Center in Dunkirk. Event is free and open to the public, featuring Congressman Tom Reed, State Assemblyman Andy Goodell, and community panelists providing federal, state, and local perspectives on critical issues impacting Chautauqua and surrounding counties. It's being hosted by Chautauqua Opportunities. You know, if you believe that there is no poverty in Chautauqua County, you live in a closet. If you believe there's no poverty in the southern tier, you are living on Mars. There is a lot of need in our counties, and I don't care what village or town or city you live in this region. This is an issue, and this is an awesome experience if you've never done sit down and talk about the reality of our area. And there's lots of good things going on to help folks. So I encourage you to check it out, August 23rd, 1 to 4, over at the Clarion Center in Dunkirk. Okay, they wanted me to let you know that the final Mayville Chautauqua Summer Concert event is going to be this Thursday. Now, hang on a second. Let me get my eyes where I'm supposed to be. Okay, it's going to be featuring Come Back, Patsy Cline, a tribute by Pat Cook. The concert will run from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Gazebo in Lakeside Park in Mayville. Attendees should bring their own seating in case of inclement weather, as opposed to clement weather. You never hear people say it's clement weather. It's always inclement. The concert will be moved indoors to the adjacent Carlson Community Center. A drawing held during the performance benefits the community chamber. The Maple Springs Fire. Chris, we need to get bigger fonts on this or bigger print. My eyes are going. The Maple Springs Fire Department will again sell chicken or hamburger dinners to benefit their fire department, and the Mayville Fire Department will supply popcorn and water on a donation basis. The concerts are provided free of charge through the generous sponsorship of the town of Chautauqua and the village of Mayville. So that's coming up August 24th, Thursday, 6:30. All right, next slide. Westfield Memorial Hospital is going to have a blood drive on Friday, August 25, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. You get a chance to win $5,000 towards a Walt Disney vacation. I've never heard of that before. That should be a lot of fun if you could win that. But listen, you got to have a photo ID. You got to be 17 years old or 16 with written consent. You got to weigh at least 110 pounds. Got to be in good health. Not received a tattoo or piercing in the last 12 months. Drink lots of water and eat before donating. So another good cause, another needy thing that we need in our community. So if you are eligible and are up to it, please check out the blood drive Friday the 25th, 11 to 4. Okay, here's one that should be interesting to bikers in the area. The Chautauqua Grand Fondo is August 26th. So that'll be a week from today. The third annual Chautauqua Grand Fondo, slated for August 26th, is a cycling event featuring 4 routes with an all-new challenge loop for advanced riders. That's not me. Each route will direct riders through a number of notable historic destinations around Chautauqua Lake. In addition to safety services, food and refreshments will be available at various points along the tour. Following the ride, participants and members of the community are welcome to enjoy a picnic lunch, refreshments, and live musical entertainment at Webb's Captain's Table in Mayville. There's a lot going on at Webb's this week. All right, so that's a bike tour, the Grand Fondo. That's going to be Saturday, August 26th. You can look that up on the internet and gives you all kinds of information. Okay, let's go up to Fredonia. The Fredonia Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with the Village of Fredonia, will be holding an evening in Barker Common on Wednesday, August 3rd, from 6:30 to 8:30. There will be this will be fun for all ages, celebrating summer and community. This is part of the Music in the Park series, with music provided by the Dixiecrats. Fredonia Chamber members are invited and encouraged to participate by setting up a table or vendor booth. For more information, call Dave Dengler at 445-7901. Okay, let's see. Then the folks at Westfield, the Westfield Barcelona Community Chamber of Commerce will hold its final First Friday event of the season on Friday, September 1. The Family Fun Street Fair event occurs the first Friday of each month during the summer season on Main Street in Westfield. Starting at 5 p.m., there is food, fun, art, live music, and entertainment. It's fun for all ages. For more information, give Sue Poster a call at 248-830-6058. September 1, first Friday in Westfield. All right, now let's pop up the next poster. This is a brand new one. Okay, this is one of those definitely you got to go to. Okay, the Westfield Memorial Hospital is going to be 75 years old. Imagine that. Okay, the public is invited to help the community hospital celebrate its 75th birthday on September 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now listen to this. If you're going to be in the area, you got to go to this. This is just going to be a lot of fun. The fun-filled, family-oriented celebration will include a number of exciting activities: family games, mementos, and ice cream for all, a raffle including a 40-inch HD LCD TV, a boy's bike, a girl's bike, and a large family in a large family tent. Okay, I thought I read it right, but wow, good prizes. Participants can enter by writing their name and address and phone number on the back of a chicken barbecue ticket to enter to one of the 4 prizes. I think you get hooked on the chicken to get the tent. That's clever. The popular Walk for Wellness will return with registration at 9 a.m. in front of the hospital to receive a free T-shirt. The walk will begin promptly at 10 a.m. A chicken barbecue hosted by the Westfield Memorial Hospital Auxiliary will be held from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tickets are only $10 and may be purchased prior to the event in the Westfield Memorial Hospital lobby, or contacting any auxiliary member, including Marilyn Hemmer at 326-3504 or Roberta Patterson at 348-2760. A display of the hospital's giant birthday cake, which won second place in the annual Chautauqua County Independence Day Parade, will be present as well. That's not how it's written, though. It's kind of, I don't write this stuff. A chance to check out the Life Flight helicopter will be on site at the hospital's helipad, weather dependent, for kids and families to explore and to have baseball-sized or custom 4x6 photos taken in the back of the aircraft. Baseball-sized photos. I don't understand that.
Card size.
It says baseball size right there. You see that? Baseball card size. All right. I don't know. You got to go to find out. I'm sure it's going to be very collectible. Westfield Memorial Hospital will pay special homage to those born at the hospital and is looking for the family with the most members and the oldest and youngest Westfield Memorial Hospital babies to be recognized at the celebration. The hospital is also inviting them to support the foundation's which is known as the Renovate Our Emergency Department campaign by purchasing a $10 limited button that reads, "I am a Westfield Memorial Hospital baby." I also know that there's going to be cornhole contest. There's going to be a huge operation game, the game we all played when we were kids and buzzed this. Okay. For more information, give them a call at 793-2200. Okay. Just a couple more things, and then we're going to get right into our show. Rick Mascaro, my buddy at the Lakeshore Center for the Arts, wants you to know that they're putting on a new performance, a new production called Harvest Moon, and it's going to be on September 2nd and Wednesday, September 6th, starting at 8 p.m., and it's going to be up in the Presbyterian Church where they always have their shows now, and I'll tell you what, when I get more information on that, I'll let you know. Okay, and then finally, from the Chamber of Commerce from Chautauqua, more than a slogan, Chautauqua. That's a tough word for me to say on Saturday morning. Chautauqua presents the Chamber of Commerce's objective to drive foot traffic into local businesses, help our members increase sales, and connect business and representatives with peers in lots of ways. So they're letting you know that this is going to be taking place in the near future, and we're going to be talking about Chautauqua a lot in the weeks to come. All right, I'm going to stop talking. We're going to take a public service announcement. I'm going to catch my breath, and we'll be right back.
I am a veteran, and my victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
I am a veteran. My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
My victory was finishing my education.
Mine is proving a disability is not a limitation.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory is having my new battle buddy.
As veterans face their challenges, DAV is there to help for victories great and small.
I'm a veteran, and my victory is getting the help I needed to put my life back together.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support.
I am a veteran. My victory is being there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Okay, and welcome back to Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and I have two guests here today. They're going to talk about something that I've never had on the show before. We're going to be talking about some experiences they had through Rotary, and I'm going to welcome first my buddy Dan Smith from my home club of Westfield Mayville, and then Fred Johnson, who's involved with this whole experience. I'm not going to give it away because I'm going to let you guys develop it. So Dan, you contacted me and said you had this great show. You wanted to talk about it with the folks here at Chautauqua Sunrise. So it's all yours. Take it away. What was it? What's it all about?
Well, Doc, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and share our Rotary story with you. But it's really very exciting because Rotary has so many aspects to it to hone in. And one of the things that I'm involved in, not only at the club level in Westfield Mayville, but I'm also in the district. And if we could have the picture of the district map now, we'd give you an idea of the breadth of our district. There are 69 clubs in our district. It'll come up eventually here.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. There are 69 clubs in our district, and what we have tried to do with various district programs is involve all of the clubs that are in the district and get their participation in various activities and events and items.
For those listening on the radio right now, you can't see this map, but kind of just do a verbal description of the district, Dan, would you?
Okay. It's basically all of western New York from Jamestown to Olean, north to just shy of Rochester, including Batavia, and then back to Niagara Falls, both sides. We're an international district, which is very, very exciting, and into Canada, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, all the way up to Hamilton, and west to Simcoe. Basically, if you were to come straight down, you would come down to, if you're looking out on the lake, you'd see that big peninsula that comes out there, and if you kind of follow that straight up, that's the size of the district.
I can see that peninsula from my house.
Yes, you can, and you can see it from
Long
Westfield and many, many places along the thruway. But our district is very agricultural oriented, and one of the things that is very, very exciting is what talent that we have in our district. And I am chair of what is called the Vocational Training Team Committee for our district. And what I try to do is involve the entire district in a project of going somewhere in the world outside of our district, going somewhere.
Can't be next door.
Can be, well, it can be, it could be in Mexico, for example.
Okay, another country though.
Could be another country, it could be in Central America, or it can be all the way across the pond to Australia, and that is where we went this year. That was the project that was selected. I don't want to get too bogged down in the details, but obviously there is a process for any club in our district to submit an application to have a vocational training team project with another Rotary district someplace in the world. And there are various qualifications to do that. The Rotary district that is going to, say for example, host a vocational training team has to come up with a program. What do they want to be trained on? And then they also have the commitment of having to host a team that comes in. They're responsible for local transportation. They house them, they feed them. They have a lot of responsibility, but one of the biggest responsibilities is defining what the program is and what they want to learn, so that then we can select a team that can train and teach in that area that they want to know about.
So if a country wanted to learn more about widget making, you would then say, fine, it's a noble cause, widget making, and then you would go throughout the district trying to find people that know how to make widgets.
That's exactly right. And let me tell you, this can be very challenging. Now it seems like, well, gosh, there's 69 clubs, there's a big geographic area, you should be able to find that. But here's the thing, not only do they have to know about widgets, all right, in your case, in that case, the program that we had was about fruit farming. And we have a lot of fruit farming within all of that district, all up and down the Chautauqua County, all the way up to, through the Buffalo area.
Up on Lake Ontario.
Lake Ontario, and all into Canada. All of Canada is that way too. So we had a whole wealth of being able to find candidates to do that. A team, we select a team. A team is made up of at least one Rotarian that's going to be the team leader, somebody that's in charge while they're there. And in this case, 3 other team members. So if we could show the graphic of the team members, that would be good, that we selected. But it's difficult to get that. We're fortunate in that Australia speaks English, so
There they are.
they have their own dialect, so to speak.
So,
right?
so this is the team?
Yeah, this is the team, and that's me on the left, the big guy. And next to me is Tom O'Neill. He was a Rotarian team leader from Simcoe. And next to him is Fred Johnson, who is with me here today.
He's got a beard.
Winter foliage.
Winter foliage. And next to him is Brian Carey from Canada. And then next to him is Tori Warner. He's also from Canada. So we had quite a team that went, and they were all extremely qualified in their areas. So without really any further ado, we need to get on to the excitement of what the mission was. And with me today is Fred Johnson, who was one of the team members that went on the trip. It was well organized, but he wants to share with you things that we imparted to the Australians. And you have to understand that this is something that we learn as well. I mean, you go there training, but you also are in a learning process
like an
itself.
exchange.
It is kind of an exchange. And
Okay.
Australia is not a third world country, of course, and but there's a lot that we learn from them as well as what we imparted to them. And there are differences, and you're going to hear about them right now. So please welcome Fred Johnson from Johnson Estate Winery here in Westfield. And he's been a great team member, and he's going to share his experience with you. Fred?
Fred, who contacted you? How'd you get involved? I mean, you're not a Rotarian, right?
Well,
Would you like to be?
That's a wonderful organization.
Good.
It came through community-supported agriculture.
Okay.
At the winery, we're the distribution point for CSA, Gordon Posts, that distributes a packet of vegetables every summer Thursday. And Dan stops by there every Thursday.
Okay.
And I think that was our initial point of contact.
I think it was.
So,
I think it was. And I said,
So
Fred,
that-
you got to go.
and so
You got to get an application in. Put it
So
in.
for our viewers and listeners, what's your background? Because I think it's important to...
Sure.
Because Dan said everybody was highly qualified, and I think you fit that category.
All right. Well, just very quickly, right now in my quote-unquote retirement, I own Johnson Estate Winery, and we have 300-odd acres of farm and about 120 acres of grapes and 13 varieties. But before that, I ran probably the largest greenhouse tomato operation in North America. Then before that, 13,000 acres of banana plantation in Panama.
What?
Yeah. I've been around.
You know this?
So yeah, I've been in corporate.
Where were the tomatoes?
The tomato greenhouses were in central Mexico, and the company was based out of San Antonio. And if you go into our local Tops market, you'll see Nature Sweet tomatoes.
Okay.
That's them.
All right.
And so yeah, I went to Cornell Ag School, and I have
Good for
been
you.
banging around corporate agriculture for 30-odd years.
Okay. So,
But nothing's as good as coming back to Chautauqua County and the old home farm.
okay. So obviously you're well qualified. So Dan, you run into Dan, and he invites you to think about this project. So,
And I mean, it was, to me, a great opportunity. And one of the things back in my agricultural history was 30 years ago, we lived in Australia for 3 years. And I was working for Frito-Lay,
oh my gosh.
buying potatoes and corn and doing that kind of thing. So when Dan mentioned it, I went, wait a minute, I need to do this.
This is too good to be true. Where in Australia did you live?
So we lived in Sydney.
Okay.
And beautiful city, lovely people then, lovely people now. So this was just, really? I can do this?
They're going home. Your second home.
Yeah, so our son was born in Australia.
Oh, wow.
It's our first child. So yeah, it was just a wonderful opportunity. And I had never been, when I was in Australia, I'd never been down to the fruit growing region, because I was involved in corn and potatoes and that kind of thing, not in fruit growing. So that was a new opportunity as well. So just all sorts of things rang the bell. And one of the advantages of being almost Medicare age and retired and your own boss finally is you have the time to do it. And, I mean, there were many people in the district who are probably more qualified than I, but they still are working full time and just don't have the time to knock out.
So let me bounce this question back a little bit. So what did Australia want? What did that group want from the team?
Knowledge exchange.
Just
And,
knowledge exchange about
I mean, it
fruit
is,
farming.
and as we get into it, I mean, it's a very rich experience. Often what you think you're going to go learn or teach turns out to be something different. And it's the surprising learning and the surprising differences that really make it interesting.
Wow. Very nice.
So no, it was very valuable, technically, culturally, economic, environment, economic analysis-wise, if you want to think of it that way. And I would encourage on any of these kind, whether it's widgets or agriculture or medicine or education, I think these kind of exchanges are very valuable.
Absolutely. Dan?
Well, there was a kind of a general sense, and I'll just say that, it's fruit farming production methods, marketing,
Okay.
Logistics, sustainability, environment, which was very big, and then various financial methods. And Fred had an awful lot of background in financial methods as well, which was very encouraging. They have a particular area, and you realize that we have a growing area along the lake and ahead of the escarpment where we grow the grapes and that sort of thing. But theirs is called the Goldburn Valley, and Fred will talk more about that. And that's one of their main farming regions. So
Fred, where do they grow down there? I mean, is it similar to here? Or?
No. It is very close when you look at it to the Central Valley of California.
Okay.
It's quite different. I mean, we start off with, here in Chautauqua County, farming, you start in the dirt, right? The dirt in Chautauqua County is at most 15,000, 16,000 years old. The dirt down in the Goulburn Murray Valley is 1,000 times older, 150 million or more.
Kind of worn out.
Australia is the oldest continent, I think, on the planet. So the erosion by wind, by water over all this time. So very flat, very homogeneous soils, sand, clay.
Pretty consistent across the...
Oh, yeah. So it's
not like around here.
very, very different to start with. The other thing about Australia is very, very dry continent. And the Murray-Goulburn Valley is their water flow is the biggest river in the country year-round. There's some rivers up north during the floods that, the monsoon that are bigger. And literally you could hit a 6-iron over it. So it's, that difference in terms of a water resource.
Okay, they just popped up the map for us. So we're looking at southern Australia?
It's looking
towards Melbourne, looks like.
Right, so Melbourne's down at the bottom. That river, which is the Murray River, and the Goulburn River comes up from the south, and we were working back and forth between the two, is the border between the state of New South Wales to the north, where Sydney is, and the state of Victoria to the south, where Melbourne is. The two big, beautiful cities. Melbourne's located on Prince Philip Bay, which is a beautiful, beautiful place.
So this area has the type of soil and conditions you just described.
Right.
Dry, sandy.
Clay, flat, hot, no freezes. But and if you went out to the Central Valley of California, you would find something similar.
So what do they grow there?
Well, you can find cherry trees and lemon groves growing side by side.
Really?
They don't have hard freezes, so they don't have to worry about that. But it's far enough south, which is towards the South Pole, that they get cold enough that deciduous fruits will work. Again, like California. Everything's irrigated. If it's not irrigated, it doesn't work. And the whole environmental management of that river basin is a critical issue for them. They just came off of 2 years ago a 10-year drought. And if you remember how dry it was here last summer,
I do.
Multiply that by 2 and then multiply it by 10 years.
Oh boy.
And that's Australia weather cycles are like that. They go in multi-year jags. So that's the environment they face. And they've done a wonderful job in terms of irrigation infrastructure. That river map has got small dams in it everywhere. The administration of their irrigation system is very well run. One of my past jobs, I got roped into that whole issue in the Central Valley of California. And hats off to the Australians in terms of how good a job they do on that, how computerized it is, and how they've modernized it. So we're learning.
So they're with the computers. They're releasing water at different times of the day.
Absolutely.
Keeping track of all that.
There's a great big control room that looks like the studio times 10, with guys there opening, by computer opening and closing gates.
So much water to get the maximum growth and so forth.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And so that's it's varsity agriculture down there, I call it.
Not for the weak.
And we'll see some pictures later on, but they've got you go into an apple orchard and the rows go out to the horizon. And then they've got nets over the whole thing to keep the birds and the bats off. They have fruit bats that are wingspan about 2 feet.
I've seen those. When I was in Germany, they eat upside down, if I remember.
Yeah, they hang. Oh, they can.
Are they dangerous?
To the fruit farmer, yes.
But I mean, to you personally, no? It's like a big bird?
Yeah, they call them flying foxes. They have some good teeth, but they won't bother you.
Okay.
But they can tear up a peach orchard in an evening.
Good Lord.
So again, different.
So are they like co-ops down there, or is it individual farms, or all the above?
All of the above. Mostly they're individual farms, some small, many large, prosperous operations, again like California. There's some co-ops, kind of like Welch's, but we were looking at packing houses rather than juice operations. A very large pear, apple, peach canning operation, which would be analogous to our Welch's, but they were in the canned fruit business rather
So
than juice.
with these less than perfect conditions for growing things, and they've overcome it, how would you compare the cost of produce compared to here? Is it pretty similar, or is it?
And in the domestic market, I'd say it's slightly higher.
Okay.
And then now we get into the marketing side of it. In Australia, there are two supermarket chains, Coles and Woolworths. And if you're a producer, I mean, you can hear the farmers here complain about selling their stuff and getting a fair price. Those two chains own the market. Tough environment for marketing fruit.
Tough climate, tough soils, and tough market.
And tough market.
Wow.
Three strikes and you're out.
Well, but they got a couple of things going for them. Because Australia is an island, and because they've done a very good job historically of keeping invasive species out.
Oh, okay.
And because it's dry, very, very low disease pressure. In orchards here, we worry about something called fire blight. It's a bacteria. It's very hard to control. Actually native to North America. Don't have it in Australia. Got to New Zealand, but not Australia. So that means that they can make an orchard grow up to almost full size in 5 or 6 years, where around here we have to tread very carefully, because if the shoots grow too fast, they become fire blight susceptible. So they can get something into production in 50% less time than we can, for example.
Okay.
Oh.
So there was a lot to learn there.
Oh yeah, I mean, and just on and on. I mean, I could go on. I think we learn more from them than they learned from us.
Okay, let's talk about grapes. They have grapes there?
They have wine grapes.
Yellow kangaroo tail or yellow tail or something kangaroo?
We didn't. Yellow tails, I think, from South Australia. But yes, there was a particular interest to me was a winery called Tabilk, which was the oldest winery in the area, founded in 1860. So here at Johnson Estate, we like to say we're the oldest estate winery in the state of New York. Well, we started in 1961, so they were 100. So they're 101 years old.
Blew you out of the water.
101 years old. Now, they did not have to deal with a certain silliness called prohibition, but back in the 30s. But there you go. And so.
There's a picture right there. Is that
so that is the cellar at Tabilk Winery.
All right. So what we're looking at looks like humongous
barrels, and that's just one of 3 or 4 long tunnels with barrels like that in it. And that tunnel was built in the late 1800s. Wow! And when they just dug out in the soil and laid out.
So the grapes are down in the area you were working?
Yeah, absolutely. There were plenty of vineyards.
Did that surprise you with those weather conditions? Of course, you said it was like California again. Yeah. Okay, so they have it figured out.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
And
all right. So, what did you bring to them? Do you think that they didn't already know?
I don't know, because the big farmers there, and they were wonderful hosts. Virtually all of them have been to California and state of Washington multiple times. They're sharp guys. But they got to ask us questions, and why do you do some things? And then, of course, the whole farming up back east here, where we've got all this water and all this moisture, was interesting to them. In terms of, you've got that whole great big lake out there, and you don't even need it. So that was a little mind-boggling to them.
It's sitting right there. Yeah.
So, yeah, but. And then one of the to me, what was interesting was more, because we're in the same business, and we share the same background, Australia to the United States, and the same problems. You start getting back into, well, for instance, one of the things that was interesting is we have a labor shortage in agriculture here. So do they. I mean, even more so. Well, how do they deal with it? And how do we deal with it? And you come away with, they deal with it a lot more intelligently than we do. For instance, the minimum wage in agriculture for temporary workers in Australia is $17 an hour, which in American terms is $15.50. And they bring in lots of temporary workers from Southeast Asia, lots of students from Europe and North America who come work for 6 months and then travel for 6 months, backpackers they call them. But it's very well regulated. I mean, a big packing house will have an immigration inspection at least twice a year. Here, if we have an immigration inspection once every 10 years,
Wow.
it's a lot. So when they make rules in Australia, they follow them.
Okay.
And that's in a lot of things. So they've got, yet their unemployment rate's 4.5%. So they've managed that problem that, you know, we both share well and in a very organized fashion. And we were embarrassed to confess we weren't quite so good. Now the Canadians are very much like the Australians. So for me as the one American, not only did I learn from the Australians, I learned from the Canadians.
Oh, nice mix in there.
Oh yeah. So it's
Three countries.
three countries, and just things that hit you. Canada was part of the Commonwealth.
Right.
British Empire. Australia was part of the British Empire. One of my team members, Brian Carey, I can see his farm from our farm across the lake if I have a good pair of binoculars. Yet we were talking about fracking on farms.
Oh boy.
And the Australian farmers are terribly against fracking. And what's this about? And you get into it and you realize that in Australia, a farmer doesn't own his land, really. He has a right of occupancy granted by the Crown, and literally it says on his title, the Crown. By the way, Canada's the same way. So the people doing the fracking on the farmers' lands or benefiting from is the government, because the government owns the mineral rights.
I see.
So the farmers are going, no.
Yeah.
So we got talking about what the standard lease rate is here in Chautauqua County. They went away with something they learned, which is, we're not asking enough. So things like that you see a difference and you go, well, why the difference, until you get down to a fundamental thing, which was, we had this thing called a revolution a couple hundred years plus ago, and they didn't.
Right.
And it fundamentally changes our relationship as farmers with our own land.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. You brought some pictures today, so
Sure.
let's see some of those pictures, and you can talk about them a little bit. So Jeff, if you want to pop up some of those one picture at a time, there we go. All right, so describe for our listeners on the radio what we're looking at here.
So you're looking at, as I said, rows to the horizon of apples, in this case, a young apple orchard. And high tech, they've got this diesel-powered little platform that's chugging along slowly. 4 guys on the platform, and each level that each guy's standing on can be hydraulically oriented up and down. One of the guys is steering the thing to the extent it needs to be steered. He's just steering it with his foot. And they're going through and defruiting and trimming young trees.
When I saw this picture, it made me think that they are pruning these trees so that they are basically flat. Am I wrong on that?
Right. It's called an espalier system.
Right.
And it's one of the newer ways, but it's been around a while, of doing apples and pears.
That's European, isn't it? That style?
Yep.
Spain, I think?
Yep. And you drive down Route 20 and go into Northeast, you'll see an espalier system there. Those posts that you see going way out they don't have them up now, but they've got, well, 2 things. They've got sprinklers on the top for irrigation and frost protection, because they do have frost.
Okay.
And later on, they'll put nets, thousands.
There's another view of it. Okay.
Yeah, they'll put, literally thousands of acres of nets across that to protect from hail and from the fruit bats and from birds.
Fascinating.
I mean, so that is what I mean by varsity agriculture.
Okay, let's take a breather. We have a phone call. So let's see what's going on. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Doc, and good morning, Fred and Dan. This is Linda Spalding.
Good morning, Linda. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
We're good. I'm learning all about Australian agriculture here.
Oh, I know. It's fascinating. They're at the other side of the world.
Literally over and down.
I think isn't it a 24-hour airplane ride from here to over there?
Fred?
Yes, it's 6 hours to Los Angeles and then another 14 hours nonstop to Sydney.
I can't even imagine me on a plane that long.
Okay, so it's 20 hours. Yeah, 20 hours.
It's close enough.
Yeah, that's a long plane ride.
That's a lot of Dramamine for me.
Yeah, I know. Just from here to overseas, 5 hours or something seems long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I didn't see you at the picnic yesterday.
No, but I that's true. I found out the tickets were all sold out, so I couldn't get good.
Yeah, they were. They sell out quickly. But we did have a lovely day, and the storm held off, and we had a great time, as usual.
Lynn is with the Office for the Aging, and they had their big annual senior picnic yesterday at Midway.
Oh, so, that's a huge event.
Yeah. They invade your backyard there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the new Office for the Aging Facebook page?
No, I have to look. I don't always go on Facebook. I try to quell my addictions. Facebook is addictive.
Well, I want you to know that Mary Ann Spanos, the director, she gave me permission to be the webmaster for that page. Oh. So John D'Angelo and we set that up, and so I've been putting things out there. And your picture's on there. Not the one with the sunglasses, just the regular picture.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're announcing that today. So anybody wants to know more information on Facebook, you just search for Chautauqua County Office for the Aging.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I can give you specific information about what we're doing. September is appreciation for the mature worker.
Sure.
So we're all working on something to promote the value.
You can send me stuff like that anytime, and I'll post it for you. Okay?
Oh, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
You're not only a job developer for our program, you're our tech person. You're invaluable.
I'm everywhere. I'm like Fred. I'll be selling tomatoes here soon. So, anything else going on?
Well, we do have our computer training going on in Westfield at the Patterson Library and also at the Brockton and Hira Library. We're still looking for people. I really do need somebody to be a transport aide in Jamestown.
Okay.
So we're still looking for that, and it's really a great opportunity for people who like to drive, and especially in this rural community, because our retired farmers like to be out with the equipment and outdoors. So it's really a nice situation.
Okay, and if they're interested, they should call you at
the main number in Mayville at the Office for the Aging, 753-4471. And thank you to your representatives from the Rotary. I wanted to ask you a question. With the times, the way they are, the situations with people being so busy, service organizations are being challenged for membership.
That's true.
Are you finding that to be true for the Rotary?
Well, I think that's true for all of service organizations. But one of the things I think that is helping us locally in Westfield, Mayville particularly, and is we try to involve community members that aren't Rotarians into various Rotary projects or Rotary events so that they become familiar with Rotary and they can realize that Rotary is a club of action. And one of the actions that Doc alluded to today is that our club is putting, P-U-T-T, an end to polio in their challenge. And part of what that challenge is that we're fortunate to have a local foundation anonymously put up $10,000 challenge to our club to raise $10,000. They'll match a $10,000 that we can raise, and we've had several events, and we're hoping that the putting an end to Rotary Challenge this weekend will put us over the top. But not only that, Rotary is a very large organization, but once we raise that and we can then donate that into Rotary International, the Gates Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, are just a huge contributor towards putting an end to polio. They are matching any of those funds 2 for 1. So we're raising $10,000, and that becomes $60,000 towards putting an end to polio. So that is just a wonderful, wonderful event that we do, and some of that awareness that then becomes out there in the community, and they say, wow, Rotary really is doing some great things. And that's how we're attracting new members. And we have attracted several new members in the last year or so. So we're very excited about that.
Oh, that's excellent. It's really quite an accomplishment.
You were saying something?
Yeah, Rotary Foundation, see if I can get Dan to talk a little bit. They were the people who paid for our trip over to Australia and back and made this happen. And they're just 100 years old. They're 101 now?
Yes.
And they started out with $18 100 years ago.
$26 and change, I think it was.
$26.50.
and they have built that into a tremendous, corpus charitable fund.
Yeah.
And,
into billions of dollars at this point. But more importantly, they don't just raise money to raise money. They raise money to do good in the world. And the foundation funds many types of projects, one of which is this vocational training team, and that's also through our particular district. The foundation helps fund some things in our district. But, whether it's polio or many, many other, projects around the world. But I do we only have a couple of minutes left, and I have to put a plug in because I need your help. Besides being able to send our vocational training team to Australia, we have a process where we have to select a program each year, and this year, for this coming year, 17-18 is our Rotary year, the one that was selected was for a VTT team to come in from Australia to us. So now we get to show off our entire district and show them how we run out agriculture, and they can come here to directly learn, much as we did in Fred's trip going to Australia. So what we need is that we need the community, the fruit farmers, the people involved with fruit production and fruit processing to contact me, all right? At our local Rotary Club, my email is dsmith4416@gmail.com. But we're looking to have various venues, whether it be 21 Bricks or Growers Co-op or Welch's Grape Juice or Johnson Estate Winery.
Absolutely.
All right? And many places around the county, and certainly over in Ripley where there's plenty of cherries that are grown, as we all know, and grapes. So that's the type of thing that we're going to need. That project is going to be in the May-June time frame of 2018. So.
Okay, we got a minute left. Linda, I'm going to say goodbye to you.
That's very interesting. I'll be very happy to help and support.
Great.
And thank you for giving me all of that information. And have a great day and weekend and week.
Okay, Fred,
Thanks.
you guys went to Australia, so you got like a minute left. What would you like to let everybody know?
Well, Australia's a beautiful place, lovely people, wonderful hosts, varsity agriculture. But after kicking around the world for 40-odd years, there's no place like home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chautauqua County, the vineyards, the hills, the forests, Lake Chautauqua, the Chautauqua Institution.
I tell people that all the time.
I mean, it is the heartland, it is home.
I'll tell you what, guys, here's the deal. If you get the Australians to come here, I'm talking to you guys now because you're going to be watching this on YouTube. If you come here, I'll link them on the show. How's that?
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful.
And the three of us will host it. Okay?
Great.
We'll put a big set of chairs out here, and we'll talk to the Australians.
That's great.
All right?
That'll be great.
So just let me know ahead of time. All right, folks, we've run out of time. I hope you got a little piece of what this was all about. Dan Smith, thank you for joining us today. Fred Johnson, all about their Australian experience down under and with the Rotary District 7090 VTT team. I think I put too many T's in there. Anyways, we're going to see you all next week right here on Access 5. I'm Doc Hamels. You have a wonderful time, and join us again 9 o'clock next Saturday morning here at Chautauqua Sunrise. Take care. Bye now. And get your golf clubs out. Let's go.